Good news edition time of the week. Hey, everybody. My name is Chip Brewster. I'm a national digital host with the Nexstar Media, and I get to do this show almost every week, except the weeks that I'm off or busy with things, right? So anyway, what is this show all about? Hey, as Nexstar Media, we've got more than 100 TV stations across the country. And so this takes some of those positive stories, some of those feature stories, some of the interesting stories from across America and brings them all together into 30 minutes of, and that's what I get to bring you. What are some of the stories that we're going to feature on today's show? Well, we've got sandboarding. Have you ever heard of this? I hadn't until I saw this story. A barbecue place, a new bat museum in the bat capital. You may not know where that is, but you're going to learn. A story about Route 66, more to come. A woman who is battling cancer and yet taking the time to donate her hair. And then a story about trying something new. May is a few different months, and one of those is Learn to Fly Month. There, I just gave away what that story is going to be about when we get to it. But before we get to those, I've got two others I want to hit on first, both having to do with our military service members. The first one coming to us from our station, WIVB in Buffalo, New York. And this one is about service members that connected not just through music, but through an experience that left them without limbs.
Music kind of ended up being this center note that brought us together.
For the band, The Resilient, resiliency isn't just part of their name, it's the message they share with their audience.
Unique band, for one thing, in a way that most people haven't seen a band with a drummer with one arm and no legs. Most people haven't seen the type of, I guess, the mission kind of that we're on, the purpose.
Nathan, their rhythm guitarist, their vocalist Tim, and their drummer Dom were all injured while serving in Afghanistan.
It's one thing to be in a band, but it's another thing to mesh. It's another thing to become a family. And
the three of them connected when Roger Waters from Pink Floyd wanted to perform a benefit concert with veterans, and then reunited again the next year.
Sort of had sparked this idea that we could keep doing these shows on our own, and we ended up doing a bunch of shows all around the country as a music corps band.
This weekend, Nathan and his band will be performing here at the West Falls Center for the Arts. On Friday, they'll be performing for the volunteers of A Soldier's Journey Home. We're building Nathan a mortgage-free home in West Falls, followed by a performance on Saturday for the community.
Super excited to bring the band out and show the volunteers, kind of what I do. I don't build, I don't know how to really do any practical things with the house, but music is something that has been a part of my life, and excited to share that, and then also to be able to share it with the community.
Reporting in West Falls, Hope Winter, News 4.
Just in case you weren't impressed enough by veterans who put their lives on the line, they lose limbs in service and get together to form a band about resilience. Impressive, impressive stuff. And thank you for your service and your sacrifice. Speaking of, this last week, so I'm shooting this on Friday, May 29th, 2026. So this last Monday was Memorial Day, 2026. And so it's only right that I include a story about honoring those veterans who have served and have since passed away or gave their lives in the name of service. This next story, it does just that. It comes to us from our station KTVX in Salt Lake City, Utah, and it actually combines not only women in service who are no longer with us, but we meet a woman who served with them. I'll let the story do the rest of the talking.
Every year, a small group of aviation enthusiasts honor Utah's WASPS by stopping by 2 grave sites to pay their respects, and then go into a sugar house home to visit with the nation's last living WASP.
It's so good to see you. Good to see you.
The group visits 104-year-old Nell Bright.
We came home and hardly talked about it. My kids didn't know I'd even flown an airplane. Wow. Till they were teenagers.
She was one of the first women trained to fly B-25 bombers during World War II for crucial non-combat missions.
It took us 30 years to get our honorable discharge from the military.
Before learning about her incredible story, the group stops at Fort Douglas Cemetery.
Lorraine and 71 of her classmates graduated, earned their silver WASP wings, and were given their official Army orders.
To honor WASP, Lorraine Bain.
Wanted to serve their country, first and foremost. And secondly, they just were excited to want to learn to fly. And that energy still rings true for everyone starting out in aviation today, especially the young girls.
From here, the group goes to Wasatch Lawn Memorial Park.
Nicholson was assigned to test fly repaired planes to make sure they were safe for male cadets heading to war. Nicholson served as a WASP from 1943 to 1944.
To pay respects to WASP Alberta Nicholson.
The women weren't really represented as much as pilots. So to be coming and visiting these graves of women Air Force service pilots, the WASP as we call them, it's inspiring to me because those are connections that other girls could make to grandmothers and mothers and aunts.
From here,
we are unique here in Utah and in Salt Lake City that we have the last living WASP.
It's time to visit Nell Bright.
We had the same training as the man had.
She learned to fly 11 different military planes. Her favorite,
I think the B-25.
The WASPs may have flown non-combat missions, but they still came with their own dangers.
And we were flying in a tall target squadron and flying with towing the targets behind the planes, and the boys were shooting real bullets at the
Oh my goodness.
while we were pulling.
I was teaching them how to do it before they went to Europe.
And while the country wouldn't formally recognize the women's service until the 1970s,
I had over 650 hours.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Flight time when I got out.
their legacy is an inspiration to many today. The tradition to honor Utah's WASPs will continue once again next year. Anyone is welcome to join. Reporting from Salt Lake City, KADE Garner, ABC4 News.
And they may have been some of the first, but they are certainly not some of the last. First, thank you as well to their service. But let's talk about something else that the month of May of, and that is Learning to Fly Month. A great opportunity to at least discover if flight is for you and perhaps help train that next generation of women pilots.
Did you know, according to reports, only 1% of the world's population will ever have their hands on the flight controls? I'm talking about flying a real airplane in the air, not a simulator. Alyssa Cruiser has her sights set high. As an aspiring airline pilot, she is gaining experience, building time, working as a flight instructor at ACES Flight School at the Rock Hill Airport. Now, currently a 500-hour pilot, Alyssa will need to log 1,000 additional flight hours to qualify to apply to the airlines. Her timing couldn't be better. Reports show the civil aviation industry will require more than 260,000 new pilots over the next decade. So it's a good time to fly and a great time to learn to fly. Alyssa says it's rewarding to share her love of flight with student pilots.
It's great to see people come out here and they just are mesmerized by what we do as a flight instructor. Just seeing everything that they're used to seeing from the ground point of view and feeling like you could reach out and just touch a cloud. They love it.
Sounds swoon-worthy, but the reality behind the romance includes lots of study, flight and ground schools, devotion, dedication, and dollars. Earning your basic wings with the private pilot certificate typically runs around $10,000. The advanced ratings and additional certificates required for the airlines can cost about $100K or more. Scholarships and loans, they are available, and most flight schools allow students to pay as they go.
Maybe through those couple of stories, we've inspired somebody out there. And if so, awesome. it's a benefit to doing this show, not only introducing these stories to you, but perhaps having a small impact on your life. That story, by the way, coming to us from our station WJZY in Charlotte, North Carolina. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to meet a woman who is battling cancer, yet at the same time thinking of others, and introduce you to something that involves Colorado, a board, and a mountain made of sand. More on the other side. Hey, welcome back. Across America, Good News Edition. Chip Brewster. Well, thanks for joining me for this ride every week as we look at these fun, feature, and unique stories. And this next one it's one of those where at one breath you go, oh my gosh, I feel for that woman. But in the other, you see her smile, you see the actions that she's taking, and you go, wow, what an impressive individual. I will let our station, KUSI in San Diego, take it from here.
You ready?
Mm-hmm. Celia has already donated her hair twice. But this time, there's a different meaning.
There's the one.
I am getting my hair cut off to donate to make wigs, but primarily because I'm about to start chemo. And since I'll probably lose my hair anyway, I might as well lose it to a good cause. So I decided I'm going to take control of something, and that is to cut my hair, because with cancer, everything is very unpredictable. You don't really know what's going to happen, what the outcomes are going to be like, what side effects I'm going to feel. I have no control over that, but I have control over when and how I'm going to lose my hair. So I'm going to cut it and donate it for making wigs.
After a checkup in January, Celia was diagnosed with stage 3 cancer. And with a positive attitude and her contagious smile, she went in to see Jessica at Family Hair Salon in La Mesa.
She was really, really positive the whole time, and she wasn't scared. I would be probably scared.
Celia's hair will now go to Wigs for Kids, a nonprofit that helps kids who are going through hair loss.
It's a very selfless act, you know, and someone that, I mean, to cut all that off like that before even knowing what's going to happen, her hair might not fall out.
She walked in as Celia, but left with an alter ego, ready to take on chemo that starts this week.
Do I look like Audrey Hepburn in Roman Holiday?
Yes.
My dream has come true now.
Reporting, I'm ZARA Barker.
I just can't get over the smile, the laugh. I mean, the giant smile the whole time, when the reason she was there was because she had stage 3 cancer and was about to start chemo. So, wow, best of luck. I hope everything turns out for you in the end. And thank you for being such a kind soul, despite what you're going through. We're going to do kind of a hard left turn here from something that's getting me a little emotional to something that gets my blood pumping in a sort of adrenaline junkie kind of way. Colorado, known for its mountains, known for the snow sports, for the hiking, right? But did you also know that it's home to the tallest dunes in the country? And you can, in fact, venture there to do a different kind of sport.
They come from far and wide.
So Alabama, Laramie, Wyoming, Buffalo, New York.
I'm from Germany. The Great Sand Dunes National Park in the San Luis Valley. It's the tallest sand dunes in North America, deemed a national monument in 1932 under President Herbert Hoover, with a view of the Sangre de Cristo mountain range. And today we are surfing it.
Just give it a little elbow grease.
This is Amy Rainey. She is the owner of Spindrift Sandboards.
We are not the first ones doing this. Egyptians have been surfing and working on the sand for thousands of years and stuff, but sandboarding has really started to take off in the past 15 years and really become a little bit more mainstream.
With a variety of boards for all ages and skill levels, Amy suits us up.
Julie, we are gonna have you ride this Diamondback. All right, this Diamondback is actually my very favorite board to ride. It still goes fast, but it's also just really a great solid board to start
for people who are bad at it.
No.
Because I'm bad.
Because I don't think anybody's bad at anything. I think it's all about your attitude.
Okay, good.
And putting your beginner on and you're ready to try something new, okay?
And then she sends us out. I'm convinced this is one of the coolest places in all of Colorado. Welcome to the sand dunes. The park encompasses over 500,000 acres. The trek across what occasionally hosts a small river leads you to the dunes. Pros, like our photojournalist Jaden, take to the taller dunes.
Okay, I might not fall, but I'm definitely going backwards. No, I'm not. Oh, yes.
Not so much.
That's such a little weenie on that.
On this day, the wind is sharp. It pelts us with sand, but the bowl of the dune.
There's no wind down here. Some of our interviews we had to do like 3 times because the wind was. All right, back up.
If you're heading to the sand dunes to surf or even camp, prepare yourself. Sunscreen, water, and a can-do attitude.
Jaden, how do we feel?
Feel good.
Feels good and I feel tired.
I would definitely give that a try. If I get the opportunity, I will give that a try. Do I snowboard? No. But I've skied, I've surfed a little bit. So, why not? Right? And then here's the thing. After you do something like that, oh, by the way, in case you didn't pick up on it, that came from our station KXRM in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Back to what I was saying. After you do something like that, you probably build up a bit of an appetite. And so that's what this story is all about. A local entrepreneur who wanted to do barbecue. That's classic story coming to us from our station KFOR in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma.
Apparently I got a brisket to go.
Good barbecue has a way of making itself known to people who appreciate it.
There you go. Thank you.
Through the senses we know about.
Brand new brisket we're going into.
And through mysterious back channels that spread out like smoke on the wind.
And these guys, they eat here every week, so they always like the center cut of the brisket.
Tab Singleton counted on that kind of magic and his own skills when he limped home to Idabel, a COVID fugitive chef, and found a closed down hamburger stand to make a last stand.
We want to keep staples the same: brisket, ribs, sausage, and things like that. But for us to not get bored with what we're doing.
He'd worked for years in New Orleans' best restaurants and even mid-pandemic trusted in his dreams.
I've always had wanted to open my own place.
Barbecue is not something a lot of cooks are brave enough to mess with, but Tab knew enough to spice his brisket with more than just salt and pepper.
And like when we're spritzing, we spritz it with a little bit of fish sauce and Worcestershire and pickle juice. It tastes like brisket, but it just enhances it, a little bit more beefy flavor.
His burnt ends aren't just the end of the brisket. His are made with beef belly and babied from there to the plate.
It almost tastes like a candied ribeye.
He closed down the drive-thru but kept the takeout. Singleton's simple dining room is paper on the ceiling and hats on a hook. Most of the effort goes into the food.
So I just fell in love with food. Loved everything about it, and still to this day.
His homemade sausage, including hot links made with chorizo and pepper jack cheese. Fat's poppers use the whole pepper.
But we do smoked beef cheek in ours.
He's not afraid to add influences from other places to make Q and sides that pop too.
So we do brisket ramen. We do brisket. We do Thai food out of it sometimes.
Fat Tabs is only open 3 days a week from just before 11 until the food runs out. On this days and lots of others, it happens before lunch hour is complete. Idabel is home, but the rest of the barbecue world is beating a path right to his trays. In Idabel, Galen, CULVER, News 4. Is this a great state or what?
Oh my gosh, sign me up. Sand dune boarding, that barbecue 3 days a week. That's it. And open, and then the food runs out. That is such local, right? What a local story. And you get to see it here on this show. I've got to take one more quick break, but I've got 2 more stories for you when we come back. One is about Route 66. It's a big year for the Mother Road. If you haven't heard of it, you're going to see a unique way you can see part of it. And then the other takes us to the bat capital of the country. I'm talking about the flying kind. If you don't know about this, you're in for a real treat. Don't worry. They're not going to jump through the screen at you. I'll see you on the other side. Route 66. There's no, both ways work, right? But the Mother Road, I think we can all agree on that. That historic road from Chicago to Santa Monica is celebrating its centennial 100 years. And Nexstar across our stations along the Mother Road have been doing specials on that road, what it led to, what is still there from it. And this one is specifically from our station in Albuquerque, KRQE. And it's on a different way that you can tour the road where you get to experience it without actually having to drive it yourself.
Want to check out the sights along Albuquerque's stretch of Route 66, but don't want to drive?
It's gone through 4 different cycles.
Now, thanks to a new tour, you don't have to.
If you look over to the right is the dog house, built in 1945. It actually was down on 8th and Central, and it moved over here in the 60s.
The city has teamed up with a local company, ABQ Tours, to offer trolley rides down the Mother Road here in the metro. It comes just in time for the big Route 66 centennial.
It's a really nice way to see our city, but also just to be a little bit more in touch with it, and especially when somebody else is doing the driving. I think it's a lot more fun.
The city has developed a map called Route 66 Remixed, helping sightseers find art and historical spots all through their phones.
So you can do this tour on your own. It'll probably take you all day. It's a pretty fun day. Or if you want somebody to do, most of the work for you, you can jump on this tour and, stop at just a few of the stops.
But the train put Albuquerque on the map.
Blake Starr is one of the tour guides.
Up and down our Central Avenue, Route 66, things have changed a lot. So I try to bring in some of what it was, like gas stations turned into diners, all the way up to motels turning into brew pubs.
He says a lot of locals will take on tours like this, but surprisingly, many don't know about the city's unique history.
Well, it's been a learning experience for me, and I'm always into learning history because I think we're losing a lot of history. So with being able to bring that to people and have them, start to think, wow, that was that? I can't believe that.
Bianca Hoops, KRQE, News 13.
And if that story got you interested and you're looking for more information on our Destination USA Route 66 celebration, you can check out your local Nexstar station website, and you should be able to find several stories actually on the Mother Road and its 100th birthday. To end the show, we head to Austin, Texas. KXAN did this story. If you didn't know that Austin had this major bat, like the flying mammal bat population, then you're about to learn something. But what's more, they have created a new exhibit so that you can get up close and personal without getting up close and personal.
Bats are back in Austin. Each night, thousands will take flight from the Congress Avenue Bridge, a summer tradition that draws crowds from across the country. But before they hit the sky, a new exhibit gives people a closer look at what makes these animals so unique. Masters of the Night, the true story of bats, opened this week at the Texas Science and Natural History Museum. And KXAN senior science reporter Eric Henrikson got a sneak peek. He also learned the role of one of the world's leading experts and what he played in creating that exhibit.
Most people think they're rodents, blind, even bloodsuckers. But that's not even close to the truth.
This exhibit is really about dispelling those myths and taking away some of that secrecy and fear that people have around bats.
The exhibit lets people experience bats up close.
Nature untouched is nature unloved. You can get in here, you can get your hands on the models, and you can learn about the different things bats do.
Liam Norris with the Texas Science and Natural History Museum says the exhibit is perfect for the bat capital of the world.
Austin has 9 species of bats, but famously, we've got Mexican free-tailed bats.
And what happens to them could impact you more than you think.
They save farmers $1.4 billion a summer.
Renowned bat conservationist Merlin Tuttle says bats across the U.S. are in decline.
Bats are officially recognized to be America's most endangered mammals.
With habitat loss and a deadly fungus.
People just fear most what they understand least.
Tuttle helped develop the original exhibit for touring more than 3 decades ago. The goal then, as it is now, to dispel myths.
Just going to the bridge doesn't teach you a whole lot about bats.
That's the Congress Avenue Bridge, home to the largest urban bat colony.
At its biggest size in late summer, it can be 1.5 million individuals.
So this summer, before you watch them take flight, you might want to learn what they're really doing up there.
Learn all you can about bats around the world, and then make your way down to the Congress Avenue Bridge, and you can watch the bats take off right about sunset for their evening hunts.
In Austin, Eric Henrikson, KXAN News.
and that Congress Avenue Bridge, the bits we were seeing at the end there, that is a legit thing. I've been to Austin a couple of times. At one time I went on a trip with my wife, with some friends, and we very specifically, like, I don't know if we rented a boat or we booked a boat tour, but we were down on the river when that was happening. It is a sight to behold. And I will tell you, my wife is one of those people that if a real bat ever got near her, she would lose it. And I don't think she would be upset with me telling you that. But my point is, even she enjoyed that experience. So something to consider after you see that story. Well, that's going to do it for another episode of Across America Good News Edition. We keep this thing going every week. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'll see you next time.